Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. How is it going, my friend? Thank you so much for tuning into this show, for being the type of person that is on the self-growth path, the spiritual growth path, the manifestation journey. I just deeply acknowledge you. I'm so happy you're here. In this episode, we are diving into the fact that you are a soul having a temporary human experience. And we're going to break down 7 truths, and you can tune in and see if they feel like truth to you. And it's basically things that if you understood, or if we collectively as humans understood these truths, it would make life, I'm not going to say easier, but easier to navigate with a higher understanding, with a higher awareness, with a higher consciousness, so that we can navigate things that go on in our life with a growth mindset, with a soul growth mindset, and really make the most of this experience. So I am so excited that you are here. If you are new to the show, I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here, for being the type of person that law of attraction brought this podcast to you in whatever way. That really does mean you're an old soul. You're here for big things. You are here for a life of transformation, growth, and that is also because your soul is here for that as well. You've lived a lot of lifetimes. You've learned things. You've had, big things happen, positive, negative. You've done it all. And now you're here in this lifetime as a lifetime of inner transformation, of the butterfly, of the phoenix, of taking, the difficult childhood you had and spinning it into gold, in making something of yourself, not just externally, but internally, doing that healing work, seeking higher ground, finding manifestation, counseling, therapy, whatever has been your path, probably all of it if you're like me, and coming to this place where you are ready to create the life that lights you up from the inside, to discover who you are and to remember more of this experience, to be the deliberate creator in your life. I really deeply acknowledge you because it is time. We are all awakening. You are awakening. I'm so proud of you. You've been through so much. And this episode is going to be so great. So let's not go on and on. I'm excited to dive in. Grab your coffee, grab your kombucha, grab your coconut water, and let's get into it. Hey, beautiful soul. Welcome to the Awakening Her podcast. I am so grateful that you've been led here, and I'm so excited for you that you're answering the call to manifest more magic in your life. My name is Talia Joy, and I am committed to showing you exactly how to manifest more excitement, ease, success, abundance, confidence, love, and anything else you've been craving. So if you're ready to go on a magical journey of spiritual and self-growth to manifest the life you're meant for, we are now besties. Let's dive in. I want to start with a quote from Wayne Dyer. You are an infinite spiritual being having a temporary human experience. And there's another quote similar to this by a man named Pierre Chardin. And he says, we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. This is what we are talking about today. First, I just want to say to anyone that is newer to this or just loves hearing about this type of stuff, the way that it occurs to me, the way that it's translated to me is that our soul is on a much bigger journey than just this human lifetime. However, what we see big, we also see small. So the way that this human experience works, where say you're going to live for 92 years or whatever, it's broken down into years, it's broken down into days. Each day is individual, each year is individual, but it's all part of like the bigger lifetime. So we pop up one step bigger, and that's what happens on our soul journey as well, where there is one sort of, it's non-physical, but like one you in quotes that lives over and over and over. And so in your previous lifetimes, it's like a day here on earth, where every day you in some ways learn, time passes, you grow, you become more mature. Some days are more eventful than others. Some days are horrible. Some are great. Some are mediocre. There's ebbs, there's flows, all that stuff. It's basically the same type of understanding on a soul level where you have had many, many human lifetimes. And in those lifetimes, you started out as a younger soul and you have progressed into an older soul. If you question if you're an old soul, you are an old soul, because it's about, there's lots of characteristics, but it's about mostly what you are interested in, what you are drawn to. And younger souls are not interested in introspection and deep self-growth and healing and wanting to be better and the fullest expression and living our dreams. You've had many, many, many lifetimes, maybe hundreds of lifetimes, where you were growing as a soul. In each lifetime, you've been everything. Men, women, children. You have been through being rich, being poor, probably, being a slave, being a king or queen that was a master over people. You've used your powers for good. You've used your powers for evil. You may have been a witch. You may have been a child that died young. You had great lifetimes with parents that were there for you. You had, not good lifetimes in that way. You've literally been it all by the time you get to be an old soul. So you are God, universe, source, expressing itself. It gets to live through you. You are what gives life force energy life. So by being one of everything, by seeing life through the lens of a woman, of a man, of a king, of a queen, of a servant, of a this, of a that, Source gets to experience all that there is to experience, and we get to experience. So every lifetime we learn things, and some lifetimes went down horribly. And every lifetime, once we pass away, this is again how it occurs to me, we kind of take everything that happened in that lifetime and we learn from it. It's kind of like if you went on a big trip and then you came home and like some stuff went sideways, you'd be like, okay, what did we learn? Next time when we go on the trip, we're going to not just wing our accommodations because that turned out awful. And then you learn and you hopefully do better. That's exactly what happens. So you've been through so many things. And I find it really fascinating to uncover past lives. However, it's about being here now. It's about making the most of this lifetime. So if you have a reading and it blows your mind, you're like, oh, that's why I'm afraid of heights, or that's why this and this, or that's why I have a fear of that. That is fun. And it's something that you can discover. And I think it's really, really cool. However, you still have to come back and be here now. This is the experience. This is the lifetime that you have chosen as a soul, or you would not be here. You have chosen to take everything you've learned from previous lifetimes and then also your childhood this time. Your teenagers, your 20s, wherever you are, this is where you take everything you've been through and you spin it into gold. You change form, you butterfly, you phoenix, you take lemons and make lemonade. This is the lifetime that you came in with an intention. So before I get into these 7 truths, which I'm going to do next, I want to say that we have an intention for this lifetime that is of the highest expression. It's almost like if I follow the path of self-growth and transformation and truly step into my light, like these are all the amazing things that could happen. But most lifetimes we don't fulfill our highest purpose because stuff happens and we forget. We forget all of these things we're going to talk about today. We forget we're the deliberate creator. Life gets hard. We have bodies, we have parents, we have neural pathways, we have a brain, we have habits and tendencies, and there's the world and social media and comparison and the way that the social constructs are depending on where you were raised and what your family influenced. Like we just have so many things that makes it tough to be human. So what I want to say is that even though you came here with big goals and dreams, and that is here for you to manifest, like 100%, you are meant to create that life of freedom and ease and impact and abundance and all of it. And it's also okay when we struggle or when we feel like we had a year or two or whatever that we're not moving forward as much, or we didn't hit our goals, because we're here to learn. Spiritually, you may have heard me say this before, there is no actual pressure to become everything you're meant to be, that's us that puts that pressure. Your spirit team and your soul are going like, wow, you are doing such a great job. Look already how much you've overcome. You're breaking generational patterns. You're changing your life. You're overcoming. You're growing. You're healing. You're transforming. It does not matter how long it takes or how slow or fast it feels. And you are just simply doing a really good job. And your spirit team wants you to know that you are doing such a great job and you're truly rocking this experience. So let's dive into the 7 things that would really help to understand to make the most of this experience. Number 1, you are a soul on a human journey. Obviously, this is what we're talking about, but really truly realizing that you are on a soul journey as well as a human journey at the same time. We are spiritual beings having a temporary human experience, and we need to navigate both the physical and the spiritual. So I know for myself, I have been lost in the spiritual for a long, long time in a good way, in a comforting way. I am obsessed with the quantum and my spirit team and this, knowledge, this wisdom, how this works, all that stuff that I was talking about. But at the same time, it has been very, very hard for me to be human, for me to navigate this human experience. Whereas a lot of my clients have rocked, or even if it's been tough, they've been humaning and they've been transforming and rising, but they feel like they need more of that spiritual part in their journey. So wherever you are, even if you have them, somewhat balanced, it's remembering that daily we are embracing this duality, that we are learning and growing, but we also need to, learn integrity and boundaries and how to nurture our body and relationships and all this very human stuff. So recognizing that you're on a soul journey, but how we unlock the soul journey is by mastering the human one. So again, whether you're more in the spiritual and it's really hard to be human, or maybe you've been more in the human and you long for the spirit, it's calling you for a reason. It's calling you back into balance. And in our day-to-day life, we need to walk both at the same time, which, trust me, is like my hardest part of life, pretty much, is balancing the spirit with the human, because spirit is so warm and comfy and unlimited and potential and magical, and you're so special in the spirit world. You have a unique purpose and you have unique gifts and all this stuff, and then you come down to earth and you can sometimes feel alone or not as special or compare ourselves. Anyway, all this stuff. It's about balancing both. It's about learning how to look after your physical body, have integrity, have space in your life, how to physically do things that bring you joy, to pour into your core values, to nurture being the best human you can and grow and transform and all that stuff, while embracing the spirit part, the intuition, the soul's journey, the higher perspective, the higher consciousness. It's almost like remembering that you have these 2 different aspects. And sometimes when we're in a looping pattern, we have to look at both. We have to go, what is my soul calling me for here? And then also, what human-y stuff is maybe getting in my way? Beliefs, maybe we need to heal more. Maybe it's simple shifts in habit or diet or exercise. It is remembering to inquire into both in this journey and understanding that we are going through not only a human journey, but also a soul one. Okay, number 2 is life is duality. So just like we are both physical and spiritual, life is filled with duality. We experience joy and sorrow, sometimes in one day. Love and fear, abundance and scarcity. We can feel successful and like we're in a transformation, a rebirth. We've overcome stuff in one area of life, but like we're total beginners in another area of life, or another area of life we struggle in. Life is duality. Life is light and dark. Life is progress and what feels like regression sometimes. That's built into the experience. So just like the yin yang, the more that you know and understand that you are both highest self and lowest self, or shadow or wounds or whatever, you are trauma and you're also expansion. We have all been both. Life is duality. So instead of thinking or, we need to think and. It's not that we're happy or sad. It's not that we're optimistic or pessimistic. We can be both. And of course, over this lifetime, we choose, we'll get to this in a moment, but we choose what to put our focus on. We can choose to be, focusing less on the pessimistic things, of course, but just recognizing that you are a human. And built into the human experience is both fear and trust. It's both joy and sadness. We are here to experience a range of emotions and experiences, and it's never one or the other. So sometimes you may feel like, oh, when I get there, right? When I master my health journey, when I make more money, then life will be great. But then we get there, or we achieve something, or we get a promotion, and then we realize that we still have really bad body image days, or grumpy days, or times when we're not looking after ourselves as much as we want to be. That is life. So the more you know that it's truly not about perfection, it's about embracing both. And that's what I would say in my journey and as a mentor to others, and also what Spirit's sharing, is that the more you learn to embrace both, the, in some ways, quote unquote, balanced, whole, harmonious, healed you become. Because you're going to have a grumpy day, you're going to have a pessimistic thought, you're going to have a time when life rocks you sideways and you feel even maybe mad at God or life or yourself, you feel disappointed. That is part of life. And the best thing we can do is learn to walk hand in hand. We learn to walk hand in hand with our light and also our shadow, to know that we have both. And then the self-growth is kind of like, okay, well, what causes me to do that? Or the shadow integration, inner child healing, great. But the end result is never that you're going to be only joy and nothing else, only light and nothing else. Life is duality. It is both up and down. It is left and right. It is, north and south. Everything exists at once. So just know that as you go through your day, you're sampling different things. And if you start to go into a thought you don't like or makes you feel anxious, you can choose to guide your thoughts out of that. But the fact that you went there is only because you're human. It's not wrong, bad, or you haven't healed enough, you haven't transformed enough. That's just not the way it goes. Life is duality. So we get better over time at holding the two, at holding grace and grief, holding light and dark. So number 2 is life is duality. Number 3, the present moment is truly all that there is. And this is vital. And this is one of those things that will deepen over time. The first time you heard about it, or if you read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, the first time I read that, it was a book that was like, self-growth. Okay, cool. I read it. And then I went back a few years later and I was like, oh my goodness, I feel like I've never even read this book before. And then if I were to go back now, I've read it actually a couple times. I haven't in a few years, but I'm sure it would reveal even more, because we understand this on a deeper and deeper level as we grow and as we spiritually awaken. So the present moment is all that there is. Yes, again, duality, okay? Time is not linear and time is also linear. So I understand for the fact of this human experience, we do have like a past, meaning last week happened, when we were a child, that thing happened. We hope for, XYZ in the future, or tomorrow we're going to go do this. Yes, in that way there is time, but every moment in time is the present moment. How we are being right now is how we will be then. The present moment, even when you got married, or you were born, or you were 6 on the playground, or when something bad happened to you, or, next week when you're buying groceries, in those moments, it will be the present moment. We do not have the past right here, right now. We have it in our memory. We can write about it or remember it, but all that's happening is right now. So I had a huge breakthrough many years ago now where I realized that I would even say like, oh, I'll journal later. Oh, well, later I'll do present moment exercises. Later I'll meditate in the present moment. And I kind of had this like laughing at myself in love and grace, of course. But this moment of like, okay, I'm putting off present moment awareness and all we have is right now. And a big truth that has resonated through me for years that my team has delivered to me in some way or another, I don't even remember, but they said to me, if you don't learn how to enjoy right now, you won't know how to enjoy later. Because I don't know about you, but there have been moments in my life where I had quite a large amount in my bank account for some reason or another, a huge influx, or I lost weight, or I felt like I reached the size I wanted, or I got a client when I was trying to get, or even when we bought a house, these huge milestones that we go, oh my goodness, that's going to be the thing. And then you realize that in your house, you're still stuck in your own self. You take yourself everywhere you go. And all you have is the present moment. So what we focus on now is what creates our future. What we do now, who we be now, is the only thing. That's the only thing that creates your tomorrow. So that's why when people go like, oh, on Monday, I'm going to do this thing, right? I'm cutting out sugar on Monday, but for now we eat pie, or I'm quitting smoking on Monday. So for now I'm smoking all of the things. It doesn't work, because who you are now is how you're going to be then, unless you shift it now. So practicing presence in the present moment, I know that sounds repetitive, but practicing being present, the best way to do this is through your senses. So imagine yourself sitting outside on your deck, and in your head, you're going, okay, like I'm going to, tomorrow I got to do, what are we going to do about this thing? You're not present. But when you sit on your deck and you tune into, what can I hear right now? Oh, I can hear, birds chirping. I can hear the wind through the trees. I can hear a car honking in the background. I can hear music playing gently inside, whatever it is. What can I see? Oh, I can see the leaves on the trees. I can see the clouds floating by. That's the difference between being not present and being present. And life is duality. We go in and out all the time. But starting to practice being fully present, tuning into your senses. Sometimes even when I'm driving, I'll focus on the way that the steering wheel feels on my hands. I'll tune into what I feel. I feel the seat beneath me. I feel my sweater or my coat on my shoulders. I feel the wind blowing through the breeze with the windows that are cracked. Like being present, what is right here? And then the even further step is to try to extract the pleasure in the right now. Noticing the way that the leaves come through the trees and going like, oh, it's so beautiful. Those leaves falling for fall, or the new buds in the spring. Being present and trying to enjoy as much as you can. Enjoying your food, enjoying the breeze, enjoying that sip of water, being present. That's what that means, is being in tune with your senses, being right here on the leading edge of right now. On the razor's edge of right now, this is where life is, and it's the only place life is. Because life is an ever-evolving present moment. It is always the now. So who you be now is, I hate to say it, and I also love to say it because you're also a magnificent being who right now is practicing gratitude and all these other things. But who you are being right now is going to be the same if somebody dropped 50 grand in your bank account tomorrow, or you woke up with the body you say you want. I promise you, over and over and over again, there's been things that I have achieved that I really did think, like, if I didn't experience this, it would just take the weight off. I would just be happy. And yes, like financial hardship is super stressful. Being in pain is life-changing. Of course, these things affect us negatively, but the answer isn't in, if that changes out there, then I will change in here, because all we have is the present moment. And we're going to get more into the in here, out there thing in a second. So number 3 is the present moment is truly all there is. And we can learn to make the most of it. To experience the most joy right now instantly manifests us more joy in our future. Number 4 is the whispers of your soul, and being in touch with your soul leads to your highest fulfillment. This is the direction I truly believe, and again, take any of this to see what resonates and throw out what doesn't. It's all good. But I truly believe that when we are in touch with our soul, our inner guidance, our intuition, the greater good, we will be led to highest fulfillment, which is also highest abundance, love, connection, joy, happiness, pleasure, all the things that we're really going for. Our intuition, our soul is always communicating through our intuition and through our desires, where we feel led when we go, I don't know why, but like I want to buy a house out in the bush, or I want to travel to this place, or I just feel this deep nudge for more solitude, less social media, less caffeine, more nature, like whatever it is, that is your soul communicating with you. Your soul isn't saying like, cut out carbs. Your soul is saying, look after your body. Let's be in our strongest self. This is the portal to your power, or you are worth nurturing your body. Your soul is calling you to higher levels of health, of wealth, of connection, community, relationships. Your soul is calling you there through intuition, through your desires. So really paying attention more to that than what everybody else thinks you should do, or what is just, secure, what you should do. I'm not saying be irresponsible in any way, but also tuning into your soul and what would lead to the highest fulfillment, tuning into the whispers. So a lot of times people get whispers and then they discount it, right? With our heads, it's totally normal, but it's really essential on this, especially this awakening journey, to listen to that inner voice. Because I can't tell you how many times I've experienced this, but clients have shared with me these crazy stories in their lives about finding their dream home, or meeting their soulmate, or being led to write a book on something that they didn't even know they were supposed to write a book on, and then it ending up to be healing or fulfilling, or, an avenue for income, abundance, whatever it is, helping others. When we listen to those whispers, that is more a sure thing than what the brecka path is. What I mean is like what everybody else is doing. What's the most responsible? Again, don't be irresponsible, but it's about, you don't have to do something you don't like as far as a job the rest of your life. If your soul is whispering to go to India or something, and you continually go, no, I can't, maybe it's time to start saving up little by little, to listen to those nudges, because you have no idea what's waiting for you. And that's the part I want to really convey. Your soul knows what you're here for. Your soul knows that highest expression that we were talking about a few minutes ago, that highest expression. So when we listen to the whispers, it is literally leading us to the most fulfillment, abundance, health, all that stuff. It's just that the whispers don't always make sense, and our head discounts them. But if you knew that those whispers were actually leading you to like the highest expression, which may pull you through healing and stuff, yes, but they will lead you to higher ground. Would you listen, even more? And that's the journey for us seekers, is like really realizing that intuition is real. Our heart, our soul, spirit can only call us in so many ways. They literally send us signs, send us nudges. We get goosebumps when things feel good. We get gut feelings when things feel things are a no. That's how they guide us. So listening to the whispers of your soul, listening to the whisper that comes through you, your intuition, that is where you will find the highest fulfillment. Okay, number 5 is self-love is everything. And of course, you've heard about self-love. It's not new. You've seen it on every self-development, whatever, an inspiring quote and all the things. But what I really want to bring to you is that love is synonymous with God, with spirit, with life force, with healing, with joy, with abundance. When we look at the vibrational scale, love is one of the highest emotions, highest vibrating. Joy, excitement, love, those are really high vibration. That's the same as spirit. Spirit would be like Tao, highest consciousness would be the very top. And love is up there with spirit. That's also joy, abundance, fulfillment, those really high vibing things. That connection, pleasure, ecstasy, really enjoying your life, living a rich life. That is all in that high vibration. So when you self-love, because love is synonymous, how they say, right? In Christianity, they say God is love. And I'm not necessarily Christian, but I do believe that source consciousness, the frequency that moves the planets, that grows the grass, that, connects us all, the thread of it all, is the same frequency as love, which is why love is something that is so hard to describe, why every song is written about it, why it's one of those things that we seek. And when we experience love, it could be with your animal, with the present moment, with another human, and with yourself. It is the most powerful thing. So when we self-love, we self-source. We bring the frequency of God, angels, universe, life force energy into ourselves. We treat ourselves with love. We embrace ourselves. We give ourselves care and love and compassion. That is all the same frequency, which is the frequency of life force. So giving yourself love is like giving yourself God. It's like treating yourself as source would treat you. I hope that makes sense. It's literally bringing the frequency of the highest truth and compassion into yourself. It's like if you were a mother or a father and all you want is for your child to love themselves. It's that type of feeling. If you have a niece, a nephew, and when they love themselves, you go, oh my goodness, that's like it, right? We need to give ourselves that, because giving ourselves love is giving ourselves the most healing frequency of all. So trying to have compassion with yourself, self-acceptance, self-empathy, these types of things, which are the opposite of self-judgment, self-criticism, being hard on yourself. It's the opposite. So when we practice self-love, sometimes that's, getting ourselves a massage or drinking water or saying kind things to ourselves. All of that is self-love. And that is truly everything, because at the end of the day, other people can love you from the outside. But if you don't love you from the inside, you're missing out on a big part of this path and where true healing is. So self-love is truly everything. And it's the frequency that our guides, angels, and soul are pulling us back into, because Source wants us to heal back or release, grow, transform back into our whole worthy self. So again, treating yourself with self-love is really the point of it all. Okay, number 6 is healing and releasing are absolutely essential. I call this the law of subtraction, but healing and releasing are just as essential as moving forward, growing, learning, overcoming, achieving. Letting go is just as important, and it's actually a huge part that allows us to receive. So letting go of old stories, old narratives, old identities, old stuff, decluttering, getting rid of, releasing. And sometimes we need to release with love, bless and release relationships, dynamics. Sometimes we need to move. Sometimes we need to get rid of our clothes, get rid of our clutter. Embracing the process of letting go is what actually allows us to receive. So I could go on and on about this type of stuff, clearly, but it is, Wayne Dyer would talk about how it's in the space where life truly happens. So it's in the space where the magic comes alive. A book with no spaces between the words would be very hard to understand. Sheet music with no spaces between the notes, it would just be like, right? It wouldn't be the song. Space is where source is. Space is where we actually allow ourselves to breathe and release and let go. And when we create space, we allow room for the new. So just like if you had a partner that it wasn't healthy, it was not a good dynamic, and you were looking for love, you have to kind of like get rid of that partner before you could welcome in the next partner. Or I like to use the example of if you had all of the clothes in your closet and none of them resonated and you hated them all and they didn't feel like you went out and bought a whole new wardrobe, you would literally have to come home and get rid of those clothes, those old ones, or else you wouldn't be able to fit in all the new stuff. And if you started trying to fit everything in and it's jammed in and stuff's all awkward and falling on the floor and cluttery, like that's not the vibe you're going for. We need to release in order to welcome in. So The biggest one here is like decluttering and not being afraid to let go of old things, old dynamics, old identities that do not serve you anymore. Sometimes we hold on because we're afraid of change, but it's just like a plant or a tree, loses its leaves, or you need to deadhead your flowers. But when we get rid of the old and shriveled up and dried up, new buds come forward. And that is just a metaphor for life. So remembering that healing and releasing are just as essential. We're not just stacking new on new on new on new. Even the caterpillar going into the butterfly, there's a releasing of the whole, first of all, the caterpillar releases levels of skin, like it molts and sheds and all that stuff. And then there's this whole transformation that happens. We have to break down what we are not in order to build back up. So if nothing else, decluttering, looking at, I'll have days where I focus on decluttering. I'll go to my inboxes. I'll go to my phone and get rid of stuff. I'll do my office. I'll do my Zen space. I'll go my closet, my bathroom, old toiletries. I'll just go through different rooms in the house going like, what can I get rid of? It's not to be wasteful. It's to allow in some space. And most of us are empaths, so we're highly sensitive to clutter and to the feel of our space. So by getting rid of things, by not having so many tabs open, or finishing a task before doing another one, or getting rid of stuff you're no longer using, all these examples, it actually creates like a breath of fresh air inside where we can go, don't be afraid to release. And when life feels like it's stripping something away, when life feels like it's breaking something down, if a job feels like it's ending, or a relationship, and uncomfortable things, try your best to surrender to the breakdown, because the breaking down is what starts to allow the new to come in. We literally can't bring in new positive thoughts and thoughts of self-worthiness and self-love when we're riddled with the old stories. So whether it's through healing or it's your physical stuff, remembering that healing and release are just as essential. Okay, the last one, number 7, is you are the deliberate creator of your reality. And I know that you might have heard this. Some of you are going to think it sounds crazy. Some of you are going to be like, totally, please explain this. Life is a hologram. Life is a matrix. Life is a hologram of your own understanding. Neville Goddard, original OG of manifestation and the law of assumption, says life is you pushed out. Psychology would say projection. If we look at shadow, so many different modalities and understandings and theories and proven stuff like in psychology, so many things, all these roots keep pointing back to you are the creator. You are the creator of your reality. The universe, this life, responds to your energy and your beliefs. As you shift your focus, as you shift your dominant vibration, you reshape your life. And even simply, really practically, I've used this example for years. So say, one of your friends is a woman looking for a relationship and looking for a man, but she's had bad experiences and she has this dominating belief that like all men are not faithful. She's had these experiences over and over. She's been hurt, understandably. She's walking around with the filter of no men are faithful. No men are trustworthy. So everybody she meets, because of this strong opinion, this strong belief based on experience, right? So there's no shame here. But because this person believes it so strongly, every man they see is through the filter of what they've been through. So say another friend goes like, oh, I'll set you up on this date, with this guy right away. It's going to be like, okay, like even if they say yes, they're going to go like, we'll see. He's probably shifty, or good luck trying to show me a man that can be faithful. Again, rightly so. This isn't about shaming or judging how we react. It's just understanding if you have the filter that all men are this way, every man you see is going to have to shift to fit that filter. And anyone that even maybe they seem great, you're going to think, or that person's going to think, like, we'll see. They're probably going to let us down. They're probably lying, even almost making up stuff, because our reality has to fit what our brain says for survival. If our brain believes something, reality better fit that, or we are so unnerved. Like we can't find safety or security if life like mismatches what we believe. It's like it's a total survival brain thing. So physically, You may know what it's like. I know what it's like to walk around with the belief of like, my body isn't good enough, self-conscious, feeling like I was the F word and like I was disgusting and I was gross. I took that into every single thing I did. So every mirror I looked in reflected that back. Like I going shopping, seeing what size I am, it would remind me of how big I was and how bad I was and how gross I was, everything, because who I was being reflected into everything I was doing. So that's a very physical example. And then energetically, because of things like the law of attraction and many other universal laws, life really does. Reality bends to what we project, what we focus on expands. That is the way that it works. So energy responds to you. Just like if you walked around your life being a very giving, nice person, people are going to relate to you different than if you were someone who walked around yelling at everybody. Everybody would start walking around a little bit guarded because energy responds to you. So it's very physical. We can see it, but we need to even look bigger and branch into really realizing that we can reshape our life by reshaping our beliefs, by reshaping who we are being, by reshaping how we relate to money, to our bodies, to love, to men, to women, to success. You hold the power to manifest a reality that reflects your true self with what you truly want, with your highest path. And part of this whole experience, this is a big ask to ask you to master that in this lifetime from a soul perspective. Like that, you are going to do it, but that's why your soul goes like, let's just see how far you get. You don't have to master all of this in this one lifetime. That's huge. But I know that you're someone that this is the lifetime that you truly did come to go like, oh my goodness, I am the creator. Life is a hologram that is literally stepping into the shoes of the deliberate creator, where you do realize how malleable this reality is. And you do realize that you can create, generate, co-create the abundance, the love, the success, the luck, the connection, whatever it is that you're going for. So these are 7 things that are spiritual truths that when you understand them, they make it, again, I can't say easier, but it's more clear what we're doing here. So number 1, you're a soul and a human at the same time, being mindful of that, navigating both the human and the spiritual side of things. Number 2, life is duality. We are up and down. We are black and white. Even a good day can have bad aspects and good aspects. And the more we learn to hold the two, the easier it is to not get so thrown around by the ups and downs. Number 3, the present moment is all there is. Life is an ever-evolving present moment. Who we are being now is how we're going to be then. So practicing being present, practicing tuning into your senses, being right here, right now, enjoying life, squeezing the pleasure out of it, being connected to the joy and the abundance and the peace, the everything that is here right now. Romanticize your life, be in the present moment, and really try your best to know that. You take yourself everywhere you go. So you might as well practice now what you want to feel later, because it's the only way to achieve it. Number 4, the whispers of your soul are what are going to lead to your highest fulfillment, highest path, highest impact, highest abundance. The whispers of your soul through your intuition, through your desires, through your heart, through where you feel led to go. That is your highest path. So you might second guess it. You might try to pros and cons it a bit. That's fine. But really asking yourself, what has my soul been leading me toward? That's going to be your highest path. Number 5, self-love is truly everything. It's you recognizing the God source energy within yourself, the worthiness, the beauty, everything with self-love, realizing you are deserving. You deserve to treat yourself well. You deserve to honor your own needs. You are worthy of that as a baseline. And when you practice self-love, it is the most healing frequency of all, because love is synonymous with source. Number 6, the law of subtraction, healing and releasing are just as essential as gathering and getting more and doing more. We equally need to be healing and releasing. And in fact, a lot of times the transformation period is more healing and releasing, especially in the beginning. We have to release old identities, constructs, beliefs, habits, stuff that is not serving us. That is the journey. The purge is just as important. And it's what, allows us to live in the spaciousness, in the deliciousness of the present moment and of a life that we love. So healing and release are just as important as the getting there and the doing more. And then the last one, number 7, you are the creator. Life is a hologram of your own understanding. The other day, I think this is what it was, my guide said, whatever you decide is true, so choose carefully. And I thought that was so good. I'm like, oh yes, whatever you decide is true. If you decide you're good enough, it's true. If you decide you're good with money, bad with money, worthy, if you decide it's all downhill from here or it's all uphill from here, if you decide this is your month, your year, your lifetime, you are right. So choose wisely. Okay, my love, it is such a pleasure to bring this to you. If you're looking for this ongoing growth and accountability and forward momentum as we close out the year, a spiritual healing, a self-growth, a moving forward from the physical and the energetic, I highly recommend checking out the Momentum Tribe. We are accepting applications. It's starting soon. I'm really excited. And it's going to be an intimate container where we gather, we move forward. We're going to be exploring a lot of spirituality while also bringing it down to the ground to practice self-love, practice moving forward toward our goals, practice gaining momentum inside and out so that we end 2024 on fire, excited, feeling in that pocket, feeling like more of who we truly are, feeling that magnetism as we move into 2025. So really excited to have you on board for that. Check out the link below. If you've enjoyed this, then you're the perfect person for that container. And I can't wait to see you there. Okay, I will see you in the next episode as well. Take care, my love. See you next time. Thank you for listening to the Awakening Her podcast, your go-to for real life manifestation. If you enjoyed the show, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening from. Reviews really help the show. You can also find me after the show on Instagram at Talia Joy Manifestation. And listen, love, I know that you are ready to stop spinning your wheels and hustling and doing a bunch of stuff, and you're ready to make the money you want to make, to feel the way you want to feel. And if this is the case for you, then you are absolutely in the right place. I'm so excited. And if you're ready to jump into the implementation, you can check out On the Path. The link is below. Remember, all manifestation starts on the inside. I'll see you in the next episode.